Here on Golfing World, we get the chance to play some outstanding courses and meet some of the world's greatest players. And today we are combining the two as we're joined by Bernard Gallacher here down at Royal Mid-Surrey. Bernard, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
To what do we owe this honour today?
Well, it's their 125 years birthday with the golf club, and I'm told that I'm still the record holder for 65. I do remember having a 65, but you know, over 30 years or so, I thought maybe somebody would have beaten it, but they haven't. And so I'm invited to take part in the celebrations, which is nice.
Being the man with the course record, I will let you have the honours.
Well,
Show
that
me
was
how
a while
it's
ago.
done. I'm sure it's in there somewhere.
Okay.
Yep, lovely stuff.
Lovely drive, Anna. Beautiful.
Woo.
Down the middle.
Straight down the middle.
Great.
Bernard, you've had such an impressive golf career. You will always be synonymous with the Ryder Cup. It's become one of the greatest sporting events in the calendar now. How much has it developed and changed since your playing days?
There was always a lot of pressure on the players and the captain and Ryder Cups, even back in the 70s and 80s when we were losing. But the players are playing for themselves, but they're playing for their countries and they're playing for their tour, they're playing for their families. Both sides are. And when you consider that every week they play for millions of pounds, sometimes $1 million, $2 million first prize. But in the Ryder Cup, they're playing for nothing. They're just playing for their country, they're playing for their passion. They don't want to lose. If you're a European player, you do not want to lose against the Americans. And the Americans showed at Hazeltine that they've got a passion for it, just as strong as ours now. And of course that is sort of feeding the Ryder Cup.
You made your Ryder Cup rookie debut in '69, famously the same year as Jack Nicklaus's concession. What do you remember about that?
I'll tell you what I remember. I was sitting on the green. Tony Jacklin and Jack Nicklaus were really playing for the Ryder Cup. They were all square. Whoever wins this last match wins the Ryder Cup. Tony Jacklin had a putt actually to win the Ryder Cup, and he left it about 2 feet short. And Jack Nicklaus had a putt from about 5 feet for a 4. And he had to hold this, otherwise Tony would have had his 2-foot putt to win the Ryder Cup. And Jack took an inordinate amount of time over it, he always does, and knocked it straight in the middle, picked up Tony's ball at the same time from 2 feet on the last green, the last putt. And I thought at the time in 1969 that it was the greatest sporting gesture I'd ever seen. I mean, I was 20 years old and I thought, man, would I have done that? But Jack Nicklaus did it. And even today, sort of 40 years later, longer than 40 years later, I still think that was the finest sporting gesture. And, you know, I'm not too sure if anybody would do that today, but Jack does. But Jack Nicklaus is really a special person. He's not only a great player, he's a great person.
Okay, second shot. Tell us what we've got.
We've got 150 yards slightly downwind, pins in the middle of the green, so just need to think about getting over that bunker front right. So it's an 8
Don't even
iron
look
for
at
me.
it. I'm ignoring
There's
it.
no bunker.
There's no bunker.
Okay. Oh, lovely shot. Anna.
Ooh.
That's
That
coming in
could be-
towards the flag. Beautiful shot.
On the
Perfect
green.
clubbing.
On the green. Come round.
Ah,
Oh,
it's okay, it's on the green.
yeah. So looking at your captaincies, all kicking off in '91, could you have anticipated what was to happen at Kiawah Island with War on the Shore?
I knew the Americans were anxious to win the Ryder Cup back because they hadn't won the Ryder Cup since '83 by the time we got to Kiawah Island in '91. But on that first day, some of the players got out and they sort of wound their supporters up by wearing battle fatigue hats. And the crowd treated it like a war, and the crowd were cheering when we missed a putt and booing when we holed a putt, and it was getting out of hand. There were some rules breaches as well on the course. There was an issue with Seve and Olithabo against Paul Azinger and Chip Beck, when referees had to get called out. All this sort of stuff. And then Bernard Langer 3-putted the last match on the last green. He had a 6-foot putt and he to win the Ryder Cup for us, and he missed it, and the Americans immediately ran onto the green and started to, well, you know, over-celebrate, I would say.
95, a very different story. You had some fine talent in your team, Seve, Faldo, Woozy, Langer. Even though we were on American soil again, you must have been quite quietly confident.
Yes, we had a strong team. The only problem was that Seve's game had gone off by that time, and basically we were playing with 11 and Seve. And but you know, we had strong players in depth, and they performed. And Seve, even in his own way, inspired the team. You could see when Seve ran onto the green when Nick Faldo holed that putt to beat Curtis Strange, how passionate he was about the Ryder Cup, and he was crying, and Faldo was crying, and the wives were crying, and it meant so much to them. And that was a big moment. You know, we miss Seve.
Yeah, yeah, the whole golfing
world.
Yeah,
we do, yeah.
And your reaction on the 18th when the Ryder Cup was Europe's again was one of the greatest. Describe that moment and that Sunday.
Well, Philip Walton had 2 putts to win his match, beat Jay Haas and win us the Ryder Cup, and I was up on the green, and it was tough. You know, he had a 25-foot putt, and he putted it up, and it was getting closer, and I was standing up when I was walking, it was getting closer, and it ended up a couple of inches away. And I ran right across, and I wasn't sure if Jay Haas had given them the putt, but I walked straight across, and Jay Haas walked off and had given him it. And you know, I immediately tried to lift Philip Walton, but you know, he's quite a big guy, and so I failed in that attempt. But yeah, he was an unsung hero, Philip Walton, in that particular match. I know we talk about Seve, we talk about Nick Faldo and Colin Montgomery, and we talk about Sam and Bernard Gallacher, Ian Woosnam and Mark James and all these players, but Philip Walton was actually the unsung hero. He had to be a very good player in Jay Haas for us to win the Ryder Cup, and he did.
Okay, well, I think we've both got some slightly Philip Walton-esque long putts here for the win, may I add?
Okay, that's right, yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here
coming
we go.
in, it's coming
Lovely.
in.
Yeah, we give those in the Ryder Cup. There you go.
Very kind.
But I've got this for the hole, have I?
Come on down. Oh, that's good. Oh, nice putt. Very nice.
You're making me putt that.
That's close enough for me, Bernard.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Honourable half.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us, sharing your Ryder Cup memories. Golfing legend Bernard Gallacher.